Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we're going to talk about Wicked and Wise. This is a game by Weird Giraffe. It is designed by Fortessa Elise, and it has artwork by Beth Sobel.
All right, in this game, you are a team of either a dragon or a mouse paired up together trying to collect the most amount of gold. The dragons are playing these big cards trying to win these hands of cards, but the mice are on the side kind of helping out, playing these special abilities that are going to help you win some tricks. So, this is a trick-taking game, special abilities, what can go wrong? Let me show you how to play. All right, here's our setup for Wicked and Wise. We have our deck of cards over here. We also have kind of a separate deck of just the gem cards, which are kind of like the highest suit in the game. We have all of our money, which is our victory points over here, as well as some treasure cards, which we're going to be able to win every hand. Then we have our objective or our goal cards. All right, so the trick of this game is that each player count plays a little bit differently. So you have basically teams of dragons and mice working together. So for instance, in a 4-player game, you'd have one dragon, one mouse on one team, one dragon, one mouse on another team. However, if you're just playing a 2-player game, you're playing one person plays as a dragon and a mouse on one team, the other person's playing as a dragon and a mouse on the other team. If you're playing as a 5-player game, you might have a team of a dragon and a mouse, and then the last person is a dual combination person of a dragon and a mouse together as one person. So basically, based upon the number of players, you'd give each player one of these cards, which would tell them whether they're a mouse or a dragon, or a dual person like that, which they're both a dragon and the mouse at the same time. All right, so then we are on to how to play the actual game. We've got these really nice little reference cards that basically tell us how to play the game, but more importantly, this is the turn order. So we've got like a dragon 1 would go first, then a dragon 2 if there was one, a dragon 3. And then mouse 1, mouse 2, mouse 3, and then close it out with dragon 1, dragon 2, dragon 3. The main role is the dragons are trying to play high cards. The high cards are going to, and they have to be of the suit that was started. So that's kind of how to play a trick-taking game. There will be a suit of cards, just like in a regular playing deck of cards, and you want to follow the suit. If you have that suit, you have to play the same suit, and whoever plays the highest one of those suits wins the hand. So let's say I, played a 2 of, let's just look at one here. A 2 or a 4 of stars. Everyone else would have to follow the suit of stars, but whoever played the highest one, whichever dragon specifically played the highest one of that suit, would be able to win that hand. Now again, we also have our gem cards. Those are the highest suit in the game. Those can actually kind of what they call trump or play as a higher suit than anything else. So even though stars led, if a player has no other stars to play and they play one of these, no matter what the value is, this is higher than any other suit. So they would win the trick if they were able to play one of those. So the dragons are trying to play the highest cards. They're trying to win those tricks, win those different points. However, the mice, they still have to follow suit, but there's all these different special abilities at the bottom of the cards. That's what they'll be playing from. So this one says, for instance, the mouse. Look at the top 3 trump or basic cards and rearrange them. So you get a chance to kind of manipulate the deck a little bit. Or maybe this one says, gain 2 coins now, or gain 4 coins later if your chosen round goal is 1. So those are some cool little abilities that you can use if you are the mouse player. Now, if you win the trick, which is all the cards being played, you get to either choose to take 2 coins, which are victory points, or take the top card off the treasure deck. And then whoever was second place takes the opposite of that. So let's say we didn't win the hand. The first player, or the team that did win, they chose the 2 coins as the victory points. We would take the top card of the deck, and we would read it. This one says, gain 1 coin, plus 1 coin for each different suit played during this trick. So based off there's 5 suits in the game. So if you were able to play, say 4 of them were in the previous hand, you'd get a total of 5 coins, which can be really, really nice. So these are all kind of random. You don't really know what you're getting into, but you want to try to maximize how many coins you can get based off of them. But winning tricks is not necessarily what you want to do every time. Of course, it's going to get you some points and some control and that kind of stuff. However, what you really want to do is you want to get these goals. Every team gets their own set of goal cards. All right, so based off this little card here, this one says we're going to play 3 rounds. During the first round, the dragon's going to draw 4 cards off of the top of the goal deck. They're going to choose 2 of them and pass them over to the mouse. The mouse is then going to choose one of them to have in play, and then that's going to be the goal card for that goal, or for that team. So let's take a look at what these might look like. We'll draw 4 of them. This one says, that particular suit, that red fire suit, if we're able to hit 1 or 0, 1, or 8 or more of those cards, it's worth 12 victory points at the end of the round. All right, if you're able to collect more of those purple cards than any other opponent, if you're playing a 2-player game, it's worth 12 points, or a 3-player game, it's worth 8 points. This one says, every trick you win with a gem card or one of those trump cards, every trick that you do win has to be won with one of those. And you have to win at least one trick, obviously. And it takes 6. If you're a 2-player game, you get 15 points. 3-player game, it's 12. And again, the more stars than your opponent, you get a certain amount of points. So there's all these different goals. So it's not necessarily about winning hands. It's about manipulating the tricks that get played in order to hit your goals. As you can see, based off what round it is, you get to keep more and more cards and pass them over to the mouse, and the mouse gets to choose more and more cards potentially, if they want to, if they think that we can hit them. And what's going to happen is each round is going to be worth more and more points. But it's also great because as you get more familiar with the game, you have more and more opportunities to score. The rounds are all how to play the games right there. Basically, you're going to choose your goals. You're going to play the tricks. You're going to play 5 tricks per round. You're going to see whether or not you hit your goals. And then you're going to clean up and do it again. One of the interesting things about the cleanup phase is all the cards that were used in that whole, after all 5 tricks were done, even the added gem cards, everything. Basically, you just shuffle those up, put those on top of the deck, and that is now your new deck that you're playing with. You don't necessarily shuffle them all in with the old deck because now you're going to be playing with cards you've already seen, so you have a little bit of advantage knowing what cards might be coming up soon. So the real twist of this game comes in the terms of table talking. So in a lot of trick-taking games, there's not table talk allowed. In this game, there is, but it's minimized based off of what card you choose. You can either randomize them and choose one. There's 4 different scenarios, or just flat out choose one. This one says, if you choose this game, you can only talk about you or your partner's cards by asking or answering 1 yes or no question per trick. No other table talk allowed. So that can be really mess up what you're trying to do with your partner. But it also adds a lot of fun and intrigue as well. So we're going to play 3 rounds, and each round has 5 of those tricks. Remember, you're going to evaluate all the tricks that you've earned, all the points that you've earned from your gold deck. You're also going to add in all the points that you've earned from the coins that you've earned throughout the game. At the end of all 3 rounds, you're going to count up all the points that you've got. Whoever has the most points wins the game.
This actually played really nicely at 2-player, which with trick-taking games, you never know, right?
Right.
Like, you just never know. I mean, we grew up with trick-taking games. That's, like, our base background. We grew up in the Midwest. Everybody plays trick-taking games. And so you just kind of worried about that. But they did this really smooth thing of having this open tableau, kind of, as the mouse player while you're manipulating that and adding things. And sometimes you'll know information that the other player doesn't know. And it really worked out. This is a 2-player game, especially since it's not just the tricks you're going after. So they did a really good job with that. Or I should say, Tessa at least did a really good job with that.
Yeah, and as far as the 4- and 6-player games, well, and all the player counts, it all worked. They all felt a little different, right? I liked it when there was a pairing of one person being the dragon, one person being the mouse, and there was you couldn't, the amount of communication between them was kind of limited. I thought that was a little bit interesting. But also the every player count was played a little bit different, but they all had the same concept of having a mouse hand and a dragon hand, playing cards, trying to win the tricks.
And of course, Beth Sobel artwork. It's really fun. The card, there's the blue flower card. That was my favorite. I loved looking at that one. That one was really pretty, and I don't know why I was so drawn to that card, or those cards, but when you have a trick-taking game and you have, the same artwork on every card, it's nice to have really good artwork on all of those cards.
Yes, absolutely. I really like trick-taking games. We've talked about that a half dozen times already, and this is one video alone. But we grew up on them. They're fantastic. They are something that not every gamer knows about, right? So sometimes you have to kind of teach the concept of trick-taking before you can teach, a board game trick-taking game. But this is probably one of my new favorites. I really like that. I love it when there's special abilities. I love it when there's some card manipulation and some kind of shenanigans that you can pull. Yeah. And this game was full of that. But at the same time, it wasn't silly, right? It wasn't like you were just had some weird bonko cards that were just do crazy stuff. It was all made sense and it was all balanced. So yeah. This is probably, I would say, this is my new favorite trick-taking games.
It's a really thinky trick-taking game. There's a lot of things that go into that. So you have your goal cards that you're trying to meet, and you and your opponent have the exact same cards in your stack, right? So you guys can be going for the same thing without knowing about it, but because of what your goal is, you might not want to take certain tricks, or you might want to take other tricks, and you might want to take the gold as opposed to a card because you don't know what it's going to do and it's going to manipulate. And I think it's so sweet that the cards that you're playing with in subsequent rounds are the cards you already played with. So you kind of have an idea of what's already out on the board. You're not playing with all the cards. So that is also going to manipulate or influence, I should say, what cards you want to choose for your card games. It was a really thinky trick-taking game.
You guys, I really enjoyed this one a lot. I think this would be a great one to play with gamers, especially because it's a little bit more complex than a simple card game. So they're going to get that, especially if they already know trick-taking games. With the family, this is a little bit more of a hard sell, but I think the key is for those that are ready for the next step in the family who are familiar with trick-taking games, this is a great one to introduce them to because it's only, one up complexity from what they're used to, and it opens them up to this whole world of card and board games that they might not have known about. So I think that this is a great game with some wide appeal to it.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to what Fortessa Elise is going to do in the future. We get this little synopsis, and she used to work with Funko Games, so I'm just kind of excited to see what she does by herself because this is really solid, right? And so I'm looking forward to seeing your future designs. Do it. You got it. Everybody, thank you so much for watching it. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us on Facebook, we're Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. On Twitter, we're Ryan and Bethany 1. And on Instagram, we are Ryan and Bethany.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.